Sorry. Hello and welcome. Good morning. My name is Mundraby. I'm Gunggandji-Mandingalbay Yidinji man from Yarrabah. Our project is partnering to build capacity of GMY Rangers to take care, connect and support healthy sea country. Our vision of our project is for us rangers and our people to have strong connection to land and sea country and to build capacity and skills amongst rangers so we could have an active and leading role in caring for our sea country. Today I'll take you through how we have achieved some of those goals, and I'll take you through how we have developed our skills around seagrass and coral and have taken those skills and put them to use out in the field on our sea country. Our first workshop for the project was to identify priority areas. Are you guys still on there? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, identify priority areas in our GMY Sea Country for looking at seagrass and coral. Once we identified the areas, we then spent many hours in the lab with TropWATER, learning about seagrass species and the methods they use in the field to survey them and what we could do when we find them. We took what we learned and put those skills to use on the ground at our local beach at Gunggandji, and we did one of the very first coastal surveys of seagrass in our country. We found that we had almost a footy-sized field of seagrass meadow on our back doorstep. While we surveyed, we identified 4 species of seagrass in this area by using a quadrat to determine how much seagrass coverage and what species there are in the area. Once we recorded the data on the sheets, we saved them for future references. We then got the opportunity to go out onto our sea country with JCU TropWATER and marine parks to do some seagrass mapping along our coastline to determine what kind of seagrass species are growing and what type of habitat they're in, such as sand, mud, rubble, and some areas we had visibility and some we did not. As you can see, Sterling's putting in an underwater camera that's on a tripod to look at the area of seagrass in our area. And then Keith is taking down the data that Sterling is given to him while Brody, Dion, and I are determining the percentage of seagrass cover of habitat in the area that we found on Scott Reef. Once we collected all our seagrass data in the field, we went back to TropWATER lab to enter and validate the data. We then had TropWATER help us to make maps where we found inshore and offshore seagrass of GMY Sea Country so we could take a look at other potential sites on our sea country. That's some of the guys just putting in the data there. Change. Yeah, we turned GPS marks on a map into maps of where we found seagrass. We looked at 226 sites and recorded what habitat was at those sites. We updated information on seagrass that was over 30 years old and got new information on seagrass in areas that had never been surveyed before, which is good. We mapped 15 square kilometers of seagrass in our sea country. We found that our deep water seagrass is seasonal due to its lifestyle, just like land plants. Some seagrass species drop their leaves through autumn and winter and come back again in the spring. Yeah, so once we familiarized ourselves with the seagrass, we decided to take on a big challenge, which is the coral reef. We then switched our focus to learn about corals and their structure, how to ID corals, and some methods used to survey coral and the health of the reef. Again, we had to spend many hours in the TropWATER lab with both coral experts, Russell Kelly, learning all about coral life and reef structures, hard, soft, and the different coral families which build up the reef and what role it plays in the ecosystem. We went out to our islands and reef with Reef Restoration Foundation and TropWATER to learn different survey and restoration methods. We learned all about coral spawning with the Reef Hub and the Reef Recruits through Spawning School. If you're here a bit later, Stellan's going to talk on that. One of the methods we use to survey our reefs is freediving and wanted to brush up on our skills. We became friends with the best freediver in Australia at the moment, who's Anthony Judge. Anthony and the TropWATER team taught us all about the science and safety side of breath holds and breathing practices for underwater. We did 4 weeks of training at the Warri pool, and during the pool work gave the team confidence while diving and breathing techniques while underwater for a period of time. Some of the team members were a bit skeptical about diving at first, but then overcame the challenge in the end. Once we'd done the classroom work, we moved from there to the pool sessions where we practiced our new skills and put them to the test. We were holding our breaths for up to 1:30 at first, tying bowlines underwater and learning how to use other skills, other hand tools for surveying underwater, so we know what to expect when these skills need to be put to use. The best part was we got to apply all our new skills out on the reef on a liveaboard at the Argo. We went out offshore, GMY country, for 4 days and put our new coral and breath hold skills to use, because some actions speak louder than words. And we had 2 small boats that did Great Reef Census coral surveys that charted us to each reef, and off the back of the big boat Argo, we continued our deep water seagrass surveys with a camera tripod. Within the 4 days, we surveyed 7 reefs in the GMY Sea Country. We were doing approximately 7 hours of work per day. We did 41 targeted coral reef sites. We each had a camera at each site, and we had to take 20 photos each to record the health of the reef. At the end of the 4 days, we uploaded approximately 1,600 photos to the Great Reef Census platform to be analysed. Before we started doing our surveys, we started diving at about 8 meters just to start off with, to get used to holding and controlling our breath with the current and movement of the ocean, and basically staying calm while down below and not using too much energy. We practiced tying bow knots underwater, which helped improve our time below, which were getting longer with each dive we did. On the reefs we surveyed, we did not find any coral bleaching or cots at that time. We went out in November 2023, so this could have changed now after the recent coral bleaching events and weather conditions such as cyclones. We are heading out again this year to our reef, so we will be able to compare last year's results to this year's at the same time, same sites. We also identified southern Sudbury as a potential restoration site. We have junior rangers who are new 10 starting in the team, and we will teach them all the things we have learned in this partnership. It'll be an eye-opener for the younger kids to learn about the reef and how it all connects us and how it works. Thank you.
Thank you, Georgia. Questions from the audience? I invite you to come on up and speak into the microphone.
Good morning. It's Chelsea again from Foch Group Consulting. I have a question for you. Did you identify a specific species of seagrass in your area that you think would be best for reef resilience intervention programs? And would your group be willing to work collaboratively in a community campaign with this species that would be a solution for visitor investments?
Yeah, definitely, because we have 4 different species of the seagrass, so we'll be identifying which one will be growing more in our country than the other. And yeah, we'll be interested.
Thank you for your time today.
Any other questions out in the audience? No. Thank you again for your presentation, Georgia.